All right, everybody. J Heat Sports Media coming at y'all again with that fire. As always, spitting the hot topics and getting the sports conversation started. And you know what it is today. The hot topic. Everybody talking about Scottie Pippen out there. My man Scottie said he ain't playing his role no more. And a lot of people mad about it, and I get it. Let's get into it. So let's get the obvious out the way. Everybody knows Michael Jordan, a lot of people consider to be the greatest player of all time, and understandably so. A lot of people know he was legit even before Scottie Pippen got there. He was dropping buckets. They was calling him Jesus Christ in basketball shoes, Black Jesus. Folks was saying, he's basically something we can't deal with in the league because he was just too athletically superior, even to guys who are supreme athletes in the league. They just couldn't deal with him. He was averaging 37 a game early on in his career, and I might have been, I think, his second or third season in the league. He gave you 32, 8 and 8. This is all before Scottie Pippen and the MVP in the league. Wasn't successful in the playoffs, though. Also, we know that Scottie Pippen, when he came in, we know Scottie, he needed some help, in terms of developing his game. The guy didn't start playing basketball until late in life for most people who make it to the NBA. He was a ball boy at one point in college and got a walk-on opportunity and did his thing. So Scottie was a late bloomer, and even in the league, he bloomed gradually over time. And Michael had a lot to do with helping him to grow his confidence in his game to be able to be that dog out there that he was for that 6 championship run that they made. Also, let's get out the way that Scottie Pippen, he's going through some things in life. I heard Stephen A. Smith alluding to it. We all know. I don't want to get into his personal information and things like that. He's had some issues in his personal life, relationship-wise, female-wise. He's had some other issues. We know he doesn't appreciate how he was treated by the Bulls in terms of his contract situation, and he didn't get paid what he thought he was due because that's how the owner of the Bulls was handling things back then. He got Michael too. Michael should have been paid more than he was paid. And Scottie didn't like that he didn't get that last shot in that time between when Michael was gone until Michael came back to the Bulls, in between the three-peats, that the shot was given to Tony Kukoc. Even though Kukoc hit it, so Phil Jackson looks like a genius. He knew what he was doing. But Scottie wanted that opportunity to be that dude. We know that too. And everybody seems to think Scottie is just griping. He's just upset. Why didn't he say this 30 years ago, right? That being said, I want to get into the crux of the argument that Scottie was making. You can say he's salty and, why we don't want to hear that nonsense right now. But let's just be real. What did he say in the article that's been floating around, that's excerpts from his book? What did he say that was inaccurate? He's preaching the gospel to me, from what I can tell. Scottie Pippen has been underappreciated and undervalued throughout his career, and a lot of it had to do with the narrative of Michael Jordan. He saved Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird saved the NBA. We all know this. And there's nothing wrong with the fact they did, and it's a great thing that they did. But by doing that, some people had to take a back seat to the story that was Michael Jordan. And Scottie Pippen was that, not just because Michael Jordan was a better player, as Stephen A. Smith likes to say. Nah, everything was built around Michael. I wanna be like Mike. The commercials, everything was to glorify Michael Jordan, to make that he's God in basketball shoes reality, to put him on the ultimate pedestal so that he would be someone like we revered to the level of Muhammad Ali, which he reached those heights. But that being said, I watched Michael Jordan, and I remember he was compared to guys like George Gervin, Alex English, and other great scorers of the past with the potential to be like a Magic, a Bird, a Wilt, a Russell, or a Dr. J, but not sure he could actually win and win big like Magic and Bird and Russell, being the leading scorer in the NBA and a score-first type of player. He had to prove he could win, and when he started winning championships 1 and 2, he excelled to another level. Now, people don't remember back then, they had Michael Jordan as the greatest of all time, period. After 3 chips, he had 2 less chips than Magic at that point. He had way less chips than Bill Russell at that point, and the same amount as Larry Bird, who he never beat in a playoff series, and he was considered the GOAT. They don't give LeBron that type of love. Side note, and this ain't about LeBron because I'm not no more a LeBron fan than I am a Michael Jordan fan. But just giving something for context, people. So Michael Jordan, he went and won 6 titles after leaving the league because he was bored, or, his father's death, or other things going on, whatever the case may be. He left the league, came back, won 3 more to make the total of 6, and that truly made him untouchable. The Loch Ness Monster, Paul Bunyan, a mythical figure in the world of sports, let alone basketball. I remember the ESPN 100 list had him ranked the greatest athlete ever, which was an insult to some people who saw Muhammad Ali, and definitely the people who saw Pele, and I'm not even going to get into Wayne Gretzky. But the point is, the media and the fans played a role in lifting Michael Jordan to a certain pedestal that was even beyond the greatness of what he did on the basketball court. And it's meant a lot to the league then, still does now, because everybody still looks up to him. And now you can see the media, Stephen A. Smith and others, running to the protection of Michael Jordan. He put money in their pockets. The game of basketball, people want to hear about it because of Michael Jordan. So I get it. But Scottie Pippen is right in the mythical figure that is Michael Jordan. Truly came in the clear picture because of 6-0. Never going to a game 7. Always taking care of business. He's right that doesn't happen without Scottie Pippen. Remember, people will tell you, oh, Mike could have won without Scottie if he had another all-star with him, but Scottie with another all-star isn't winning. Or maybe, who knows, Scottie ain't seen in that light. Even though when Michael left after the first 3-peat, Scottie was a top 3 MVP candidate in the league. Had his Bulls with a record that was only 2 games less than the year before, with MJ on the team with him. That's Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen was a dog on both ends of the floor. And he took a back seat, played his role, as I said in the beginning, which he's not playing now. Didn't complain about shot attempts. Didn't complain about doing the dirty work more often than what Mike had to do at times. Didn't complain about anything other than that shot, which when Mike was gone, he probably felt like, man, this dude, Michael's gone. I'm supposed to be the man now. I saw how Mike always got the shot, win, lose, draw, make or miss. Why ain't I getting it? We had to sit Michael down and have a talk to him about trusting Paxson, and eventually that led to him trusting Steve Kerr, But I'm supposed to just take a back seat to Tony Kukoc in the waning minutes of the game. That's what might be on Scottie's mind. And he's right. Without that group that stayed together, the continuity, them knowing each other, adding to the legacy by picking up Rodman when they saw a Shaquille O'Neal and Penny Hardaway coming and having to deal with the rest of the league. All this stuff they did to put the right pieces around the Bulls. but Mike and Scottie, they were the duo. But when we talk about them, it's Batman and Robin, and Scottie is clearly Robin. It's not Shaq and Penny, two co-alphas, Magic and Jabbar, two co-alphas, D Wade and LeBron James, two co-alphas, Curry and Durant, two co-alphas. It's Mike and the Supremes, if you will, and Scottie's just the best Supreme. He has a right to be a little frustrated at that. He was more than that. Anybody that knows basketball, as Stephen A. Smith would say, knows the greatness of Scottie Pippen. But by and large, the image of Scottie Pippen is poo-pooed, as Stephen A. Smith would say, time and time again. I hear it from friends. I hear it from people in the media. I see it on social media. Stop the nonsense like y'all think Scottie is this legit figure. He is. Everybody knows he got the top 50 in 96 and he's on the top 75 list. But there's people that think he's overrated, for sure. Scottie got a right to a grievance about that documentary, and let's finish with the documentary. So, they advertised, first of all, the documentary was done years and years ago, right? In 98, following them around, their team for that year only. We were told The Last Dance was about them following them around. Now, I thought I was the only one that maybe noticed it, but maybe Scottie Pippen did too. Because I thought when I first started watching it, I thought I was watching Come Fly By Me. Michael Jordan being drafted and, you know, all the struggles and trials and tribulations, as if we didn't know. A lot of folks knew that. Even the young generation has heard them stories. But it worked because it built up the mystique even more of Michael Jordan. Now there are some young people who didn't know that are saying, man, I got a lot more respect for Michael. Now I think he's better than LeBron, and I didn't think so before. So when Scottie says he did it to try to help with that discussion about LeBron and Michael, there's some credence there in terms of the results that came from that program. And it kept building up. I mean, really, it wasn't until near the end where you really focused in on the 98 season, and then it was over and it was done and he hit the last shot. You know, it was more of the documentary was based around Michael Jordan. And if they had said the Michael Jordan documentary, then that's different. But they told Scottie and others and us, if you really go back and remember, that it was The Last Dance about the last season. 1998, really all we really supposed to be broaching. But they broached everything. And Scottie, right, you bringing up the migraine that happened way before 1998. You bringing up the situation with the Tony Kukoc shot when you weren't even there. You were playing baseball. What's that got to do with the last season again? You brought up him sitting out the games and everything, and you did say, oh, but he's my greatest teammate ever. But you also said how you really, you pointed to how you just had to really, I don't want to use the wrong term and say beat things out of folks, but in some sense, he had to beat things out of folks in order to get the response he needed. Michael Jordan was ruthless. He was a competitor, and he's a great all-time player. But Scottie Pippen is not tripping when he says that documentary was presented one way at first, shown a different way, and he has not gotten the level of respect that maybe he does deserve. And Michael Jordan is about himself in most cases. We already knew that, Scottie. You ain't even have to tell us that. People don't mind. Matter of fact, they revere that about Michael in some ways. It is what it is. But Michael, to me, is a top 3 player all time. At times in my life, I thought he's the greatest. And sometimes I've had that argument change. He's not number 1 on my list anymore, but he's above LeBron James. So this ain't about that. But Scottie, because he came after the God, he's going to feel it now. So that's all I got. I know it was a long one. I could have talked for another hour on this subject. So much to get into. But I'm interested to see the more of the fallout after this book. But remember, J Heat Sports Media is what you're looking for. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, hate, and comment. Catch me on Instagram and Twitter at the Vault JMU414 on Twitter. And of course, catch me on TikTok as well. What's up, TikTok? I'll holler at y'all next time.